Hi Georgetown, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you've been able to enjoy the nice weather and maybe go for a bike ride or a walk with your family. Let me know what you've been doing. Today's video, we have another question and then we'll learn how to count. Last time we learned 1, 2, 3. This time we'll learn 4, 5, 6. So let's get to it. Thanks for listening. Today's question is, why did I go to Bangladesh? Why did I decide to go live and work there? It's a little bit of a long story, but I hope you enjoy it. When I was about 8, almost 19 years ago, my aunt moved to Bangladesh. She had felt God calling her to live and work there, so she went. And so I have always had an interest in Bangladesh. I did all of my school projects on it. For my middle school World Cultures Day, I did my project on Bangladesh. I was always interested. And in middle school, I remember telling my mom, I want to go visit her someday, my aunt in Bangladesh. And my mom said, oh, when you graduate from high school, you can go. And I think that she kind of thought I would forget about it, but I didn't forget about it. So when I graduated from high school, 2 weeks later, I was on a plane to go visit Bangladesh for the first time. And I got to spend 2.5 weeks there, 2.5 months there with my aunt. When I came back, I remember getting on the plane, going back to the US and thinking, well, that was fun, but I don't ever have to go back there again. So I really thought, okay, I went to Bangladesh, I tried it out, now my time there is done. When I came back though, I did college orientation and I went to Calvin College, and at the end of our orientation, we all prayed around a pond. And while I was praying around that pond, I really clearly heard God telling me that He wanted me to go back to Bangladesh and that it wasn't just going to be a short trip back, that He wanted me there for some time. So I had never heard God speak to me that clearly before. And I spent a lot of time around that pond arguing with God. I like my home in Hudsonville. I like feeling safe at home. I did not want to go travel and live halfway across the world where life is a little bit harder and there's less comforts than we're used to. But after about half an hour of arguing with God, I finally said, okay, God, if you really want me to go back to Bangladesh, then you need to make it happen. And I called my aunt and I said, I think God wants me to go live in Bangladesh, but I'm too young to do that. I don't want to do that. What is He doing? And she prayed with me and she encouraged me. So about 1.5 years later, I went on my second trip to Bangladesh. And between that first trip and moving there last year, I went on 5 trips to Bangladesh. 5 trips total, the first one included. So every time I went to Bangladesh, God just made it more and more clear that that is where He wanted me to live and work. He gave me friends that lasted even when I came back to the US. They would keep in touch with me. He gave me a sense of comfort in Bangladesh. I really started to feel like it was my home. And when I was in the US, I found myself missing Bangladesh a lot. So God gave me all of these signs and all of these provisions to make Bangladesh feel like home to me. So after I finished college and I got a master's degree, then I decided it was time for me to move to Bangladesh. So I still wasn't quite ready to move for a long time. So what I decided was that I would go for 1.5 years and I would see how it went, living in Bangladesh for more than a couple months and having my own house there and working there. And that's what I've been doing for the past 1.5 years. And once again, God made me feel very comfortable in Bangladesh. He made me feel useful there. And I could really tell that I was following God's plan for my life. I think that God has wonderful plans for us. I know He has wonderful plans for each of you, and He'll show you what His plan is and He'll help you live it out. So I'm very thankful that God told me that He wanted me to live in Bangladesh. I am planning on going back to Bangladesh, hopefully in August, and I want to stay there for a couple more years. I don't know what God's plan is after that, but I'm looking forward to seeing what He tells me. I love life in Bangladesh. I'm very glad that God called me there, and I'm glad that I get to teach, and I get to teach children about God. It's very special to see kids in Bangladesh learning about God and learning new things about Him. So thank you for the excellent question. That's in the short version, really, of how I ended up in Bangladesh and why I moved there. First, because my aunt lived there and I was interested. Then because I heard God telling me to go. And then because God made me want to go. Okay, last time we learned how to say 1, 2, 3. Remember, 1 is ek, 2 is dui, and 3 is teen. Today we're going to learn 4, 5, and 6. 4 is chaar, chaar. 5 is paanch, paanch. And 6 is choy, choy. Chaar, paanch, choy. Ek, dui, teen, chaar, paanch, choy. There you go. Now you can count to 6 in Bangla. Thanks for listening to the video today. Have a great week. Bye.